Hey guys, thank you for watching. So for this video, I wanted to explain the keto diet as best I could. When you start to look for information about the keto diet, you're going to hear about macros a lot, like count your macros, check your macros. So macros are macronutrients. So that includes carbohydrates, protein, and fats. So let's talk about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates include sugar, which is candy, juice, soda. You also have flour or wheat, which is bread, pasta, crackers. They also include starch, which is rice, potatoes, and corn, and then vegetables. When you talk about protein, you're talking about meat, chicken or poultry, fish, and some vegetables. So now fats include oil, butter, lard, nuts. That's what you need to eat to be able to give your body the energy it needs. Calories, right? So the calories come from macros. Now one specific food has 100% everything. So for example, tuna and chicken are really high on protein and low on fat and zero carbs. Pork belly is really high on fat, has some protein and no carbs, but then rice is extremely high on carbs and not much else. So now carbohydrates turn to sugar in your body. Okay, they also get stored in your tissue, your body's tissue, muscle, fat, heart, brain, and all that. They also burn quickly. So especially simple carbohydrates like flour and rice, because they're processed so much, they also elevate your insulin levels, which affects your insulin resistance, and which is a huge topic, and we're going to talk about that at the end. Now protein cannot be created by your body, so you need to ingest that. You need to eat protein, but it does help repair your muscle. So when you're sleeping, your body starts repairing your muscle by using the protein that you have accessible. Your body can also convert protein into glucose. That's important too on the keto diet, and I'll explain in a second why. Okay, now fat. I have fat in blue because I'm an infantryman, and anything in blue to us is friendly, so fat is your friend. Okay, so fat burns slowly. It does not elevate your insulin levels, which is important, and I'll talk about that when we talk about insulin resistance. Okay, so fat is processed by your liver, and then your liver releases ketones, and those ketones are used like glucose, is used for energy on your body. And so when your body's in ketosis, you're essentially using ketones for energy rather than glucose. Okay, if you look at this graph, you're looking at the standard American diet at 2,000 calories. Now the government recommends 40 to 60% of your calories come from carbohydrates. They also recommend about 15 to 20% protein. The government recommends about 30% or less of fat, and that's where we have a problem. Okay, so now look at this graph showing the insulin levels on a standard American diet. So when you wake up in the morning, most likely you're in ketosis. Most Americans eat breakfast in the morning because they call it the most important meal of the day, which is not, but I'll explain that in another video. As soon as you introduce carbohydrates to your body, your pancreas releases insulin, and that insulin carries the glucose to different parts of your body. So you can see that you have an insulin spike during breakfast. As the day goes by, your insulin level starts coming down with your blood sugar level. Lunch, boom, another spike during lunch, starts coming back down. Okay, and then dinner, boom, another spike, right? So anytime you have a major meal with a lot of carbs, regardless whether you're somebody that gains weight easily or doesn't, your body releases insulin. As long as there's insulin in your system, you cannot burn fat. The insulin is there to be able to get rid of the sugar that's in your system, and so it stops fat burning so that all that sugar can be taken out. Okay, so let's look again at the standard American diet. When you go from the standard American diet to the keto diet, this is what you want. You can see that in the carbohydrates column, you have red and green. Green is the fiber that your body needs to be able to process all that food and you don't feel constipated. Now, the red is the simple carbs. So what we want on the ketogenic diet is to get those simple carbohydrates down to almost zero. So the only carbohydrates that you should be eating is from green vegetables. We want to drop protein to about 15%, and the reason it's yellow is because protein can also get turned into glucose. So if you're eating too much protein, that excess protein gets turned into glucose, sugar, and so again you have an insulin response from that. Now fat, we want as much fat as we can, 70 to 80%, and for some individuals even 90% of your diet should be fat. Now if we look at the insulin levels on a keto diet, you can see that because you're already in ketosis when you wake up, if you eat a low carb breakfast or snack or lunch or dinner, then your insulin levels don't really get spiked so much. So the sugar level stays low enough in your system that just a little bit of insulin can get rid of that, and you go back to burning fat. In fact, once you start the ketogenic diet, within a couple of weeks, you're going to realize that you don't need to eat breakfast or you don't need to eat snacks between meals, because you're so full on fat that 1 to 2 meals a day is going to be more than enough. So that's going to help you control your insulin levels, and for some people it might even reverse type 2 diabetes. Okay, so now to the part that you all want to hear. What do I eat on a ketogenic diet, right? So if we look at our macros again, we basically eliminate any of the simple carbohydrates like sugar, wheat, rice, potatoes, any of that stuff, anything that burns fast and easily in your body. The only thing that we keep from the carbohydrates list is green vegetables, and some exceptions are cauliflower. For protein, we try to keep meats that are really high on fat. For example, chicken breast is too lean, so you want to eat more chicken thighs and chicken wings with the skin on. With beef, anything that has a 50-50 ratio or higher is what you want. So 50% protein, 50% fat, or higher on the fat. Also, any kind of fatty fish. Now, people have more difficulty with the fats because you have to increase fats so much more from your standard American diet that people have trouble figuring out where to add it from. So adding olive oil or butter or cooking with lard or coconut oil, all those kinds of things kind of add fat to it. And don't forget, going back to protein, if you get higher fat cuts of meat, that's also going to help you on your fats. Macadamia nuts, almonds, pecans, they're all really high on fat. If your body can handle cheese, adding cheese to everything, or even sour cream, cream cheese, having whipping cream, half and half, all that adds fat to your diet. There's tons of resources on YouTube that help you prepare meals for keto. Keto Connect is my go-to. I always go to those guys that have excellent recipes, that have excellent information, so make sure you guys check them out. Another one is Headbanger's Kitchen. That guy is excellent. As far as recipes go, there's tons of resources out there that you can try. If you're somebody that doesn't normally cook, just check out my go-to meals. Most of them are prepared in 5 to 10 minutes, so they're real fast and real handy to have. Okay, so you might still be confused on why eating more fat helps you lose weight. So the answer is insulin resistance. Everybody's different. Everybody processes food differently. Okay, just like not everybody's 6 feet tall, just like not everybody's 300 pounds of muscle. Just between me and my brother, same mom, same dad, I'm 5'10", and I've been up as high as 283 pounds. He's 6'1", and he probably never crossed 200. Plus, he always ate way more food than I did, yet he never got fat. So my brother's naturally lean. He's a lean person. So with lean people, their fat tissue is insulin resistant. So that means their muscle tissue picks up the excess glucose or sugar, and that gives them a jolt of energy, and they want to go out and run marathons and play soccer or do whatever. And because most of that sugar got used up as energy, then they don't feel as hungry as fast. For somebody like me, my muscle tissue is more resistant to insulin than my fat tissue. So my fat tissue picks up the excess sugar and stores it as fat. And since more calories got stored than got used for energy, now I don't have as much energy and I feel like eating more. And so obviously we process food differently. So the keto diet is for those of us that genetically aren't able to process carbohydrates as effectively. So that's my explanation of the keto diet. Let me know if I missed anything or if you're still confused. Leave any questions or comments below. Please subscribe to this channel and hit that little bell so you get notifications from me when new videos come out. Thank you for watching again, and I'll see you guys in the next one.